Welcome to our savings starts tomorrow. If you have never listened to the podcast, we are just a travel podcast. My name is John, my wife Jen, sitting next to me, and we just share travel stories and adventures and mishaps. Ooh, do we have a mishap for you this time around? A big one. We can't wait to share with you exactly what happened and why we haven't had an episode the last few weeks. But first, we got to tell you, coming right back with the sponsor, which is cool. So our podcast is sponsored by Heart Soul Heat. These are the creators of Ghost Honey. It's a 100% American-made hot honey. So it's a ghost pepper infused raw honey, and it's great on pizza and fried chicken. And here's the cool thing. They reached out to us, and they're like, we know that you do a lot of wines.
Yeah.
And you do some charcuterie and cheese boards.
Oh, I bet that would be so good on there.
Exactly. So why not have some ghost honey from Heart Soul Heat? So they're actually offering fans of this podcast right here 50% off your first order with the code SAVINGS. Because our savings
Get it?
starts tomorrow. You just got to go to their website. It's heartsoulheat.com. Again, use that promo code at the checkout. Savings, heartsoulheat.com. I saw that they were putting it on ice cream.
Ooh.
It looked really good.
That sounds good. You know, I'm going to make tonight some of those little like burrata and prosciutto and basil. I bet it would be so good drizzled on there.
Yeah. Get a little hot, like a little spice on the top of that.
Yummy.
Thank you so much, Heart Soul Heat and Ghost Honey, for sponsoring our podcast. All right. First and foremost, what we like to do at the beginning of every show is see exactly what Jen's drinking. So what are you drinking today?
Just straight up Elijah Craig.
Not even doing wine. We are a wine and travel podcast, and you're not drinking wine today.
I know.
You're drinking the whiskey.
You know what? When life throws you water, so much water, so much cold water.
Yes.
You just pour yourself some whiskey.
Sometimes whiskey heals all things. So.
It's like medicine.
It is. To me, it's NyQuil. If I have a cough, just give me some Elijah Craig.
We've been very ill.
We have been very ill.
You know, the last month, it's really how I've been dealing with my stress.
All right. So where have we been?
We're back,
we're
first of all.
Back, yeah.
We're back.
Thank you for joining the show again. If you kind of were wondering what happened to our first season, I don't know if we consider this season 2 or just it was like fall break.
Yeah.
Spring break, and then we're back.
Yeah, fall break. Yeah.
And the reason why we had to take a break was that when we were in Hawaii getting ready to get some new content for the show.
You're welcome.
We were flying back on a red eye, which, by the way.
Just horrible.
Why do we even do those?
Why do we do those?
They're the worst flights. There's nothing good about a red eye. I can't sleep on them.
Who sleeps on planes? Crazy people.
Also, you know what it reminds me of? Like, if you've ever stayed in a hospital for any reason, like, you know how like they constantly wake you up because they're checking vitals or like there's a ding of some kind of machine going off?
Yes.
It's like that because the flight attendants are always walking by, or you hear someone getting up, or the person at the window needs to get by you. Like, it never stops, so you can't sleep.
And there is a lot of dings.
Constantly.
Dings for the, I don't even know what the
what
dings,
do the dings
all mean. I know. I am always curious. Like, 2 dings. Oh, does 2 dings mean like prepare to land?
I've heard that if you ever hear ding, 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 that means there's a problem.
3 dings?
3 dings in a row. 3 fast dings.
Oh, I'm going to look that up.
So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's the kind of fake
I don't trust you. I don't trust your facts.
Podcast. But so we're on this red eye, and we land in Salt Lake, and it's like 6 o'clock in the morning.
I don't think it was 6 o'clock.
It's like 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And you and I are kind of groggy, and we're turning on our phones, getting ready to get picked up.
And as we're like also turning on our phones, we're like, that was an amazing trip. That was so good. You know what? We're gonna start doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? That was a nice little break, drinking, eating, doing what we want. But now we're gonna really just like tighten up.
Yeah, you and I had like a whole fitness plan that we were going to do.
Yep, we're going to start working out.
We had a diet that we were going to be a part of. We were going to go 7 days sober.
At least 7 days.
And you know that something's crazy because we're drinking Elijah Craig while doing this podcast. So we didn't make it 7 days.
No, we did not make it one day.
You turn on your phone and you already have a text message.
Yes, my sister, who was watching our kids at the house, had sent me a text saying, "Have you landed?" And I replied back, like, "We just landed." And she's like, "I need you to call me as soon as you get off the plane. But know that the kids and the dog are okay."
I assume that they were okay, but someone got hurt. Like either our dog got hit and was in a cast, or our kids got hit and were in a cast.
I thought maybe, we talked about this, maybe that my sister had COVID.
Oh, yeah, that was another thing we thought.
Yeah, and honestly, I was like, oh, dang it. Now we're all going to have to quarantine
Just
in
took
the
a
house.
week off on vacation,
Yeah.
and now this.
Ugh, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that's kind of what was in our mind as we got off the plane and had to find a spot for you to actually call your sister.
Yes.
And you do.
I called her back, and I'm all refreshed off a plane. Hey. And she's like, so last night, one of the toilets malfunctioned, and it ran all night long, and your entire house is flooded.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just couldn't even comprehend. Like, when I heard it, I was like, well, I don't even think she said the whole house. I think later on she even said, "I didn't tell you the whole house. I didn't want to completely stress you out, but I wanted you to be aware of what was happening." She sounded very panicked. And she said, "I just want you to know before you got here, there's a lot of people here. It happened this morning. Restoration, like the mitigation people are there. And I just want you to know that it's bad."
And I really just thought, it's not her house. She's stressed. Obviously, it's bad no matter what, right? Like, she's just worried about it, and that's why she's calling us.
Yeah, it was the bathroom upstairs. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so like some water got on the tile floor in the bathroom, and maybe it got into the hallway carpet. I'm like, okay.
We'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we get to the house, and she wasn't kidding. There were a lot of people there. There was like 3 disaster cleanup trucks.
Yep.
And
Like a dump trailer.
and people that we didn't know just running in and out of the house with our things. Our garage door was open.
Like all these like old family heirlooms are just like strewn about like in the garage. It was like surreal.
Yeah, and we get inside, and that's the first time we look at our house, and we see like towels just sopping wet.
Yeah.
Everywhere, and our ceiling has like a bunch of bubbles in it, as does like the walls, and that's when we realized, wow, this isn't just like a tiny little flood.
No,
this was so much more.
It really was the whole house.
Yeah. So our top floor flooded, and as water does, it finds anywhere to go down following gravity, and it started to rain through the ceiling or to the next floor, and that was our kitchen and our main floor. Then it continued down into our basement, so all 3 levels of our house completely flooded in 8 hours while everyone slept.
Yeah.
Which just sounds insane.
Insane. I know that Ella, our daughter, had mentioned that she woke up in the middle of the night and she thought it was raining outside because she heard rain. She's like, "I heard rain outside." It's not raining outside.
And then our son Liam said that he heard the dog barking at one point and like running around the house, but he wasn't going to get up. He's 9 years old.
Right.
So everyone just slept through the whole thing, and the house was completely destroyed. And when I mean completely destroyed, we keep trying to tell people because everyone has like my house flooded story.
Yeah. Or we had a flood in our basement.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's so difficult. No. Like our house burnt down. That's the best way to say it. Our house burnt down. It was completely gutted.
Yes.
Like it was just so with that, our podcast equipment was destroyed.
Yep. Which
means that's why we had a few weeks before we had an episode. Also mentally, we needed a few weeks just to right the ship. And we got put into a hotel, and then we went to my in-laws, your parents, and now we're in temporary housing, all thanks to the insurance company. And it's not like a financial devastation or disaster.
I mean, it's not great.
But it sucks.
Oh, gosh.
We're definitely,
We're just finally coming out of the fog of it all.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So that happens.
That happened.
And then a couple days right after that, I'm leaving work in downtown Salt Lake City. There's one-way streets, and I'm driving along in my car, and there's a one-way driver coming right at me. And I'm flashing my lights and honking my horn. In fact, I stop because there's nowhere for me to go to get around it. So I'm like, well, hopefully I don't want to keep moving forward. So it's too momentum. I don't know what the safer way to do it is. And at the last minute, the person looks up, sees me, swerves around, flips me off.
Oh my gosh.
Thinking that I'm going the wrong way and keeps driving. And I was like, wow, that is a really close call.
Yeah.
That's scary. So then the next day I'm driving home from work and I'm on the freeway and the semi truck carrying gravel drops its gravel load on the freeway in front of my car. And I'm talking not just a tiny bit of gravel, the entire semi that was full of rocks dropped, closed down the freeway for 6 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm the car behind it, dodging rocks now that are just bouncing everywhere. And the poor motorcycle guy who's in the lane next to me is getting hit by rocks.
Oh, geez.
And it's just like pure chaos. And I get home and I'm telling you about this and I'm complaining about how it seems like everything is going wrong for us. And I happen to do a morning radio show in town in Salt Lake, and I was talking about everything that's been going wrong for us.
Right.
And a listener called and asked if I happened to take any volcanic rock from Hawaii. I did.
Yeah, we did.
My son Liam asked me to bring him back some volcanic rock.
That's like the one thing he wanted.
He didn't want any other gift or trinket. He just said, I want some rock.
And you know what? We'll talk about Hawaii at another time. We didn't end up going to the volcano like we had initially planned.
Yes.
And that's where we were initially going to get the rock. So on like our random morning
Yes.
Damn you, Elijah Craig. We just randomly picked up a rock.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this looks like a volcano. I'm sure it is.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
And we took it home.
Yeah.
Well, there is a curse. It's called the Curse of Pele, and the volcano goddess of Hawaii, and it brings bad luck to those who take lava. And I didn't really believe it. But there was a lot of stuff going wrong in our life.
Oh, my gosh.
Like a lot of stuff.
I know. And so when you told me about it, I was like, okay, like, is this real?
Right.
Then you did some research and you're like, it sounds like it's kind of a thing.
Each
and people
year,
like mail it back. 'Cause I'm
hundreds
like,
of people.
how do we get out of this?
Yeah.
Mail it back.
There's a address that you mail it to.
Yeah.
And they return it for you.
We told our son about it and he was not all about it.
No, because this was like the one thing he wanted from mom and dad in their vacation.
Yes.
And we were like, okay, well, maybe we are overreacting a little.
Right.
It's just kind of been a hard time. And then I happened to have a CMA award. And we were moving into our temporary housing from the flood. And the CMA award was dropped and broke into a bunch of pieces.
Yeah.
And like we're standing there at the shattered Waterford Crystal Award. And we're like, all right.
It's time.
We're mailing it back.
It's going
That's
back.
It. Yeah. And we did. We actually looked up that address, and we have a photo. If you go to our Instagram page, you can see the address to where you mail the lava rocks back. But I guess like the lava is shipped back from Germany or Japan, Australia. Like everyone mails back the lava rocks because people have horrific luck.
So did you like read about like what some people have experienced?
People have lost their jobs upon coming back home. Gotten divorced. Oh yeah. Lost their homes.
Well,
and they say their luck turns when they return
the rock.
And
if you mail it back, that's okay. Because I did tell my boss I might have to take another week off.
If that's what it took, we would do it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And the national park, the Halakela, nailed it. The Volcano National Park says that it receives almost 1,300 rocks a year.
Wow.
So 1,300 people a year take
Ours
these
is
rocks,
one of those.
Yeah, and go, oh my gosh, life's terrible. I'm going to mail this thing back.
I do think, knock on wood, I don't know if this is wood or not, but nothing horrific has happened since mailing it back.
Yeah.
So
you're going to go with it.
I'm going to go with it.
I don't understand why the luck has to be that way, why there's a curse.
We didn't know.
No.
We had no idea.
I know it's illegal to take the rock,
I mean, I kind of knew that was probably bad.
but I'm like,
It was like small.
it was tiny.
Teeny tiny. They
Yeah.
weren't going to miss it.
I was reading though that they believe that the reason why there's even we were trying to video this one and my phone just fell. They say that the curse was actually created by just a disgruntled park ranger who was sick of people stealing lava rocks, and so they just started to make it up. And then another, I read a bunch on this, said that it was actually like the tour companies because people would steal it and then leave it on the tour buses. And so they were just like, hey, don't take a rock. You'll be cursed. Well, let me tell you. I don't know which one it is, but I can tell you it cursed us.
Oh, yeah.
In a big way.
In a big way. I had no idea. I definitely would read up on some of this stuff before taking anything else from anywhere else.
Yeah, I would say that's a good idea. I didn't pee in the 7 sacred pools this time. Just
is that bad?
I would assume it's frowned upon. I would assume.
Yeah. Like, is it bad to like take shells?
No, it's the volcano.
But I just mean like I'm curious if there's other curses like this
anything?
in other areas. Like, don't take the shells from this beach.
I don't know.
We basically stole the heart of Tafiti.
We did, yeah. I also heard that this happened in a Brady Bunch movie.
Oh yeah, it was like a little figurine though, wasn't it?
Yeah. So
what was it like a
the surfer dude?
Was
the
it
hula girl? I don't know.
Again, we should really research things.
That would take away from the charm of what this show is.
Fly by the seat of our pants.
We've had a hard time.
Oh my God. How long can we ride this?
Well, that's the other thing. Like, you've complained a lot to people when they're like, hey, can you do this? It's like, life's been hard. Like, how long do you get to complain like that before, you have to stop?
2-3 years.
Oh, okay. I was going to say now that we're in temporary housing, it has to stop.
I know. Fine.
But
no,
then
things
again,
are getting better.
We're going to go look at the house later on after we record this, and maybe we'll be back to finish the Elijah
Oh, my
Craig.
gosh.
But so anyways, we just wanted to do an episode. I know a lot of times we talk about specific trips or vacations or things, but we really wanted to do one.
Yeah.
Where we just kind of explain where we've been.
Yes. And what not to do. Don't take things from places.
You'll be cursed forever.
You could be cursed, and you don't want that.
No.
Trust me. You don't.
But what we do want from you, if you don't mind, if our sob story today has made you feel bad and you're like, I've listened to the show, but I've never reviewed it. Hey.
You know what I could really use right now?
What do you need?
Besides another drink. I definitely could use some 5-star reviews.
Please. So you can do that just if you're on Apple Podcasts.
Yes.
You can give us 5 stars, maybe a few kind words.
Yeah, definitely kind words. And also, if you aren't following us on Instagram, you should follow us as well.
And of course, that Instagram is Our Savings Starts